Hey everybody, Animal Man here. Today we're going to do a really fun project. We're going to learn how to make a ring out of a coin. Stay with us. So for this project we're going to make a very, very special ring. And you can make a special ring for a special person. And we're going to use silver quarters. So here's a whole bunch of silver quarters I've collected, and we're going to look through them, find the one where the writing on the sides is the most legible and not worn off or tarnished or anything, and that's what I'm going to use for this, because when we make this coin into a ring, whatever is on the sides of the quarter is going to end up on the inside of your ring. You'll still be able to read it, which is to me the coolest part of this. So I'm just going to look through these quarters here, and so that one's very tarnished. This 1964 is in pretty good shape. I'm going to put that over there. Historically, going back to like the days of World War II, men in the U.S. Navy would make these rings for their girlfriends back home, and they'd end up using these for engagement rings. And they would use what they had available on the ship. So no power tools, and if you have time, you don't need power tools. They'd use a metal spoon, and they'd use a pocket knife and some sandpaper or Brillo or emery cloth, whatever they had, to sand it and kind of put a little polish on it. You can also use toothpaste to put the final polish on it. So what I've done is, instead of using a spoon, my son has these little tiny hammers he's gotten. This one's from Lowe's, from building little projects when he was little. And this, as long as we're gentle, I've had very, very good luck using this on my small little anvil here and the hammer. So what we do is we're going to hold the quarter on its edge on the anvil. You can see it's got the rough edge, and we're going to tap the edge, and we hold it just like this, and we're going to start to tap it with this hammer. And I'll try to do it so you guys can see, but as we tap, we do very, very light taps. We're not wailing on this because it'll warp the ring, it'll start to bend it, and it will not have a nice smooth finish when we're done. We want this as even as possible. So I'm going to tap it repeatedly. Try to go straight down. You don't want glancing blows or anything, and we're not using a lot of force, just a little bit. I'm just going to let the hammer do the work, and as we go we're going to keep on rotating it around like this, and that'll give us a nice even ring. And what happens is, as you tap it, it pushes the metal down, and it can't go down because there's already metal there, so instead it mushrooms it out each side. So when you do this long enough, what you notice happens is, as it mushrooms out, all the writing along the edge of the quarter, so the Liberty, the year on this side, and then the United States of America $quarter on this side, will end up on the inside of the ring. As you can see on this one, see on this one on the inside, it still says United States of America. I know it's probably pretty hard to make out in the camera, but it does. And then on this side it says the arches, and it says the year. It says 2014. So it's going to be pretty neat. And the great thing about the silver, instead of using these, because these are made from several different kinds of metals, like I know the quarters here, it's going to be nickel and copper, and that's why you can see a distinction over here. It's nickel, and then over here it's got the copper color. With these silver quarters, it's made from 90% silver, 10% copper, and it's going to be, it's mixed, so it's going to be the same silver color all the way through our ring. So this is going to be a really pretty one. Alright, so I'm going to start tapping here, and this is going to take hours. Alright, so I've been at this about 5 minutes, and already you can see the reading, which is like the bumps on the edge, is pretty much smoothed out and gone. Compare that to this quarter where I haven't done anything to it. I don't know in the light if you guys can see that or not, but this one is definitely a lot flatter already. So now that that's flattened out, now that's what's going to happen is, as we keep hitting this, it's going to start to mushroom out now. We're going to start to gradually see the lettering and numbers on the edge start to roll over onto the inside as this mushrooms out. Pretty cool. So I kind of just press down and roll it as I tap. It keeps the speed pretty consistent. It's also important you flip it over and do it the opposite way once in a while, just in case I'm not hitting it directly if I'm hitting it at an angle, which I'm pretty sure I am. Not perfect. So this tends to keep the ring a little bit more even. Let me already show you the difference here. Already, I don't know if you can see that. There's already a noticeable size difference in these. The one I'm working on is smaller in diameter, but then the edge is actually wider already. You can see that right there. So it's subtle, but it's getting there. So I just want to give you guys a little close-up and show you. The one on the right is the one we're working on. The one on the left is a normal silver quarter, 1964, untouched by us. And the one on the right, you can already see the diameter is getting smaller, but it's getting thicker, and the rim is already starting to mushroom out, and the writing, the Liberty and the year, is starting to curl over, and it'll eventually all be on the inside of the ring. So it's pretty neat to see this happening, seeing the process here. You can see how this is starting to mushroom out very, very nicely. I mean, compare it to this normal core that's untouched. You can see the difference there, how much thicker it is, and then also, maybe you can see it like that, the diameter. It's much smaller in diameter now too. And, oops. You can see very clearly there, I think, how the letters are all rolling over into the inside of the ring now as it mushrooms out. Alright everyone, so we're at the point where this is almost to the right size. And what I'm going to do now is, I don't have a ring sizer, but the special someone that this ring is going to be for, I have a measurement of her finger. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this paper measurement and I'm just going to put it on top of it and kind of eyeball it. And you just want to make sure I don't go too small, because I mean, if it's too big I could always try to make it a little bit smaller, make it fit better. There's different things you can do, but if it's too small, you know, you gotta start from scratch with a new one, and I don't want that to happen because I've spent a couple hours on this already. So we're almost there. There's still a little bit of room. I know where I'm going to grind out the inside too, and I have a little bit more space, so I'm going to keep on making this a little bit smaller.
So sweet, oh,
Alright, let's check this again. This might be it. Yeah, I'm going to call that good. The sizing is good now. So here's what we're going to do. If you look at these other rings that I've made, it's probably hard to see in the camera, but they're slightly rounded. They're not flat like this one is now. It's flat on the edge. And I'm going to round it just like these. So what I do for that is, instead of holding this flat on here, I'm going to angle it slightly and still tap straight down. And what that's going to do is that's going to start to angle the side, and then I'm going to flip it over and do it again. And you have to be very, very gentle now. I don't want to warp this. I don't want it to get any cracks. I'm going to go very gently with this and very slowly. But the same technique otherwise, but I'm going to have it at an angle. Alright, I'm happy with this. Now, we're done with the tapping, we're done with the hammering. Now what's left is we need to get rid of this inside here, and I'm going to start by drilling that out, and then I'm going to finish it up with a file. So here's what we're doing. I've got our pliers, I've got pieces of foam from a mouse pad that I've cut just to pad this a little bit so we hopefully don't scratch our coin or dent it or anything. And I'm just going to grab it with that, and it looks pretty good, pretty sturdy. I've got a 1/4-inch drill bit on here. We're going to go right in the dead center, away from the sides, try to drill out just the center of this. Alright, we're already getting through. Alright guys, again, piece of a mouse pad will give me some better grip so this doesn't move around, and it'll keep it from getting scratched. See if this large one, okay, we're in business. So, for a while now, all we're going to do is we're just going to start to hollow this out in the middle. I'm just going to grind away on George Washington's face. So I switched to a new piece of foam rubber now because this is smaller and I'm getting close to the edge and this is getting caught on it. So I'm pretty soon I'm going to be at the point where I can stop using this large file. I'm going to switch to a finer file. Don't want to mess up the writing on the inside of this and go too far. Alright, so now I've got this in here. What I'm hoping is it'll give me a little bit more control as I work without having to worry about it moving around. Yeah, it seems like we're good. Now I'm going to switch to this file that's slightly rounded just to get rid of any of these little points I have on the inside now, smooth it out better. Much finer file though. Look at that beauty. Alright, let's check out how we do with the writing. Still see Liberty perfectly right there. Still see the year, 1964. Wonderful. And it's not as legible, but I've got the whole thing. $quarter and United States of America. This is perfect. Now let's just compare it to the ring sizer we have. I think it's perfect. I think it's the perfect size. Awesome. I've got 1000 grit sandpaper here. I'm just going to give it a once over on the inside and the outside and the edge. And then we can polish this. Okay. Now I'm just gonna do a little bit on the outside just to get any angles off from the hammer, from hammering this. Try to get any big nicks, any large angles off. I don't want it to have a hammered appearance. I want it to be as smooth as possible. Alright everyone, I've got my Dremel clamped in the vise, and I've got some Dremel polishing compound here I'm going to put in there. So I've got it on low, I've got it on the lowest speed, so hopefully it won't be too loud for you. Gonna see if we can't polish this baby up. Okay, here we go. Okay, I'm just going to clean this off. We'll see what we got. So just got a cloth here. Just gonna get all that extra polish off of it. Alright, so this just came out gorgeous. I am so happy with this. And to prove it's a quarter, there you go, the inside, Liberty. Over there, 1964. Then on that side, $quarter. And United States of America. So there's our ring. Very, very cool. Hope you guys enjoyed this project. Try this out. I think anybody can make one of these. Give it to somebody you love. See you guys soon.